All right, guys. So, give it a second for everybody to get on here today. Guys, you can see I'm live here at Zippers Performance with Dan Fitzmaurice from Zippers Performance. Want to say hello, Dan?
Yeah, glad to be here.
And then I have Adam from Zippers Performance.
Hello, how are you?
We're here doing a tech talk. It is Tuesday, so I guess you could call it Tech Talk Tuesday. We're going to be talking about Harley-Davidson motorcycles and performance. As you guys know, that I have a Zippers Performance motorcycle. I'll tell you a little bit about my history of my motorcycle. It started out being a 107. Oh, sorry, I'm being rude. We also have Larry, Bill Ryder P here. I'm sorry. He's going to be doing the moderation of this, asking questions. And guys, get your questions in. Let him ask. He'll be reading them off to us if you have any questions about the anything Zippers Performance, about my motorcycle, stuff like that. So anyway, so let's get started with this. I want to tell a story about my motorcycle first, the Zippers Performance 124 muscle kit. I had a 2019, I still have a 2019 Street Glide that had started off being a 107. I brought it here to Zippers Performance, and it turned, Dan and Adam here had the first kit was 124 sleeper kit. And I was really excited and happy about that kit. But now my bike has a 124 on it, which is a 124 muscle kit. Now you guys you saw all the transformation of my motorcycle on the channel. Everything was built right here in-house at Zippers. And I'm extremely excited, extremely satisfied with this motorcycle. But since I've done all of the upgrades, all the upgrades were done here, again, I said, I just want to come to you guys and let you ask some questions to Dan here and Adam about any performance upgrades that you may want to do on your motorcycle, or any performance grades that I've done on my motorcycle. You see that we have a bunch of parts laid out here. Dan, so what do we have here?
Well, this is some of these parts, things Adam's been working on. It's kind of like the next generation. So the muscle kit, platform is really strong and reliable. And now we're working on the next generation of cylinder heads, camshaft development, different compressions, as you know, pipes and things like that all evolve in the marketplace. And, this is going to be new available options. Don't get me wrong, the muscle kit is extremely popular. It sells very well. As you know, it's a great touring package. You could ride it, you can throttle it, you can race it, you can pretty much do anything you want with it, because it's designed to be, a workhorse of an engine.
Right.
But there's new stuff coming that's going to get put on the website in the next couple weeks, and pretty excited about it.
Well, guys, like Dan was just saying, my motorcycle, the first kit, I had 150 foot-pounds of torque and 130 horsepower. And that bike, I rode it halfway across the country. I put thousands and thousands of miles on it on trips, doing 700, 600 miles a day. And it was just as reliable, to be honest with you, more reliable than the day that I bought it. So you guys need to check out those videos. You can see all the things that was done to that motorcycle. And that's the thing about Zippers Performance. Having the motorcycle, having a high performance motorcycle, some people, when they have a high performance motorcycle, they tend to think that you cannot ride these bikes like this. Well, the Zippers difference is when you have a properly built high performance motorcycle, you still can ride it as a daily rider. And if you watch the videos, you see me and Leonard, we went 5,000-6,000 miles across country, and that bike was when it was in its last stage, the latest stage now, the 124 muscle kit. So Adam, tell us a little bit about some of the things you have coming.
So I would say the big reason why you're able to ride it across the country is we develop packages. So we're looking at the cylinder head, the porting, the valve sizes, the cams, the compression. We're looking at the whole deal. It's not just, one piece or the other. Your 124 muscle is really designed to be a street kit. So, it makes a lot of power, but it's still a street kit. As we go forward, like this is a stage 4 cylinder head right here. So I have a feeling that one of these will be in your future at some point. The piston over there, these are actually all heat coated That is a that's a 124, 128 piston, very
128,
similar.
yeah.
Basically, what we're doing is just going to that very next level. Now, we like to do it with caution because we want to make sure that everything is proven and tested before it leaves. So we've actually been running stage 4 heads for a little while now, but we don't have full kits out at the moment, but they're coming out very, very soon.
Right. And you do a whole lot of testing here. That's one thing that I like. You know, I'm always on you guys asking you, when's the next thing coming out, when the next thing coming out. But you never fold to my pressure, I guess. You just, because you want to make sure things are right. And I know that when the Milwaukee 8 first came out, a lot of people were quick to release cams, and zippers took a little while to release a cam.
Right.
But then you released the cam. Guys, by the way, this
Yeah.
is the senior developer of the Redshift 468 cam. If you don't know what a Redshift 468 cam is, you need to check out a Redshift 468 cam.
Best bolt-in cam you can put in. Let's
Yeah.
put
Yes,
that
it is.
right there.
It'll turn your, guys, my dad's 107 Milwaukee 8 has a Redshift 468 cam in it. And I'm not going to tell you all the specs. I wanted to drive you to the video. Watch the video, but he's extremely satisfied with this cam. 107 making the power that he's getting, that it's just unbelievable. So check out that Redshift 468 cam. But anyway,
So, quick
Go ahead,
question.
I'm sorry.
So, Leland Carter says, wait, are they thinking of taking it up to a 131 or bigger?
So, we have sold a fair amount of these heads that on the stage 4, as Adam said, you know, we have been selling some of these parts, individual parts for a while. And they're working out extremely well on the 131s. And yes, we are working on some larger displacement items. There's no doubt about that. But I would add though that Adam's done some extensive testing with the 128, and it makes a lot of power. It works really good. So
There's more power in getting the combination right between the compression, the cylinder head, and the cam than a couple of extra cubic inches. That's what it really boils down to.
our company's never been the largest on the bar stool type thing with displacement. We really focus on efficiency and try to make power that way first, and then as the engine graduates and gets bigger, you know, that efficiency can move with it, because the bigger it gets, the less efficient it becomes. So
Right.
guys, and I'll say this too. I'll be the one to say that I have a 124 that's making more power than most people's 131s. Now, I grew up hearing this, that there's no replacement for displacement, which is true, but there's there's a little. We're just talking here, guys. You have to have a properly built motor, and like Adam is saying, a 128 that's properly built can make numbers that, well, he didn't say that, I'll say that, can make numbers that most people are getting out of their 131s. My 124 making 153, and that is huge. And that is, I have stage
3.
Stage 3 heads.
Stage 3.
So
and you got early torque.
And I have early torque.
Right.
And and the bike is completely, I left from Zippers Performance and rode all the way to Nebraska. I came back, went to Michigan, all over this country with a bike that's making 153 horsepower in the rain, in all kinds of weather. So it's predictable throttle, and it still is just as reliable as it was. But when I want to get out and play, as you guys know I like to do sometimes, I have that power that's ready. So it's having an engine that's just built for power that's not rideable. That's not an enjoyable experience. You want something that you can ride, have fun, but still be able to take your bike on a 200, 300 mile a day trip. You don't want anything that's just built so radical that it just basically just made to go around the corner. And that's why I like Zippers Performance, because they make bikes for riders, people that love to ride their motorcycles and like to get in it every now and then. So you have the stage 4 heads coming soon,
Right.
or they're here now.
The stage 4 heads are available now.
Okay.
These are actually a current item.
Okay.
What we're completing is our full stage 4 kits. And that's going to include the piston, the cam, you know, and we'll have everything. We'll have the dyno charts, we'll have
Tuning calibration.
tuning maps ready to
Bar
go.
maps, yep.
You know, one of the big things, a lot of people when they talk about power, they're just talking about what you see on the dyno.
Right.
And the thing is, that's only wide open throttle. That's only, which matters, but that's only the snapshot of what the engine can do when your throttle is pinned wide open. The vast majority of time when you're riding, your throttle's not pinned open.
Exactly.
So we tend to care a lot about all of those transitional points, all of the areas where you're going to be riding. And that's probably why it takes us a little bit longer to get a kit out. We do extensive computer modeling to get ourselves where we need to be, you know, with the math and the numbers before we even make a part to go on the dyno. And then once it hits the dyno, we go to the road. And we, you know, it's all those little transitions. When you're at 2,500 and you crack the throttle open, how does it respond?
Right.
You know, just
Right.
a big number at the top may not necessarily feel like a fast motorcycle in the end, because it's torque that gets the motorcycle accelerating. You know, now as you see, and you know, if you're talking about at a drag strip or if you're racing somebody heads up, you need horsepower at the top if you are carrying it wide open. That's the time when you are running it pinned wide open.
Yeah.
But you know, again, the vast majority of where everyone rides is in that part throttle operation.
Right. And guys, I can tell you, my motorcycle, I don't want to say like the Swiss Army knife of everything, but it's the best of both worlds. If I want to get out at a red light and leave the light really strong, I have the power to do so. But if I want to get out and set the cruise control on 75, 80 miles per hour, and I'm still getting very good gas mileage for a motorcycle that has that much power. So they have it right. And, you know, I don't really get caught up in the numbers. I was at first, when I first came to Zippers, I told them I wanted the biggest thing out there, you know, 131, this and that or whatever. And now, after listening to them and studying and seeing the charts and the dyno graphs and all that, I realize it is where the power is being made is the most important thing. If you have a 131, a big displacement, and you're not getting any power until like 5,500 RPMs, and you are someone who shifts at 3,300 RPMs, then you have the wrong setup, pretty much.
Absolutely.
So it also depends on, and I'll talk to you about this, Adam. You have several different cams to fit and customize how someone rides a motorcycle, right?
Right.
So like
Yeah.
if you're someone who has a stock 114 who wants to get a cam swap, and they tend to change, they just want to run it up to about 3,000-4,000 RPMs and change it. They just want to make sure they have a lot of low end torque.
Right.
What would you suggest for someone like that?
It's definitely going to be a 468. It's going to give you the absolute best throttle response. I mean, it is, again, it's very, very developed to capture the pressure in that stock build engine.
Right.
Be it a 107, a 114, or a 117. If your motor was built on an assembly line by Harley-Davidson, the 468 is pretty much optimized to give you that throttle response.
Now,
I know, like when it first came out, a customer of ours put one in their motorcycle, and I asked him, I said, what did you think about it? And he got a big smile on his face, and he said, my motorcycle rips. And I got a smile on my face because that's exactly what I thought when I was test riding the prototypes. It's like, holy cow, this thing really rips. It doesn't make 170 horsepower, but it doesn't need to, because it has so much throttle response, and
When you
just
need it.
where you need it and where you're riding.
Right.
So
Performance is in the eyes of the beholder.
I mean, I wouldn't take a 107 with a 468 up against your 124 muscle, you know, not in a straight line. The numbers just aren't quite there.
Right.
But, you know.
So I have a question. Somebody wants to know, what type of power can they get from a water-cooled motor? From a Limited?
On an M8,
Yes.
it's virtually the same. Unlike the twin cooled, it has 5 cc smaller cylinder heads. There's more compression in that engine.
Right.
The twin cooled M8 engine has the same size chamber, but Adam's done some testing on this, and one thing that's really impressive about the twin cooled system is no matter how much you ride the motorcycle, the ambient temperature, whether you get stuck in traffic, whatever, it maintains a ceiling on the cylinder head temperature, and it just does not let it rise above, what is it, about 275?
Oh,
like that?
it doesn't even get that hot.
260,
220 on typically on a twin cam, twin cooled.
Yeah.
An M8 maybe a little bit warmer. But
Well, but
the
if you
reality
were
is-
stuck in no traffic, where you had no air movement whatsoever, it's impressive how it caps the ceiling of the heat.
right.
And we offer cylinder heads for all types of twin cam engines with the twin cooled heads.
Mhm.
We have stage 2, stage 3s,
You can do a stage 4
3.5, stage 4.
Yeah.
And of course, we offer cylinder head porting for all of the Milwaukee 8 twin cooled engines. So for us, it's kind of like a thumbs up platform. It really works well.
The
So,
twin
so
cooled.
you have stage 4 for this, for twin cooled?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, either.
I better check that. I'm not positive because that port's really big, so it is a possibility it wouldn't work
Okay.
in a stage 4. But I know we do in the 3s.
Yeah.
And people do use them because it's a good platform that Harley built on that part of the model of motorcycle.
Well, guys, I know we've been talking for a while, but I'm gonna get a couple more questions from you guys, but I'm gonna ask some questions that I want to know myself. All right, so right here on the top of this piston here, it's ceramic coating, right?
That is actually not ceramic. It's a little different process.
I'll show you guys that.
And it's very popular in the race car world. What it does is it stops the piston from absorbing the heat, and we like to do really good finishes and tight tolerances on the cylinder finishing, like on the Sun and SV30 that we use to finish with, and this prevents the piston from growing too quickly, on the critical part of the startup process, and getting the engine, Adam calls it the heat cycled in,
Right.
so that it's very critical time, the first couple minutes of the engine, and so it does a good job of creating a thermal barrier to prevent this part from absorbing too much heat.
Okay.
So your piston cooling jet's actually going to be spraying on the underside of that,
Right.
and that's going to be removing heat from the piston to keep everything cool. What that's doing is it's trying to prevent the buildup of heat in the piston that then has to be removed by the cooling jet.
Okay.
So it's not a replacement, but it helps the entire system work better.
And one thing I would add on top of this, which you understand, is that as you keep increasing the power of this air-cooled engine, when you think about what your original bike was like riding, and now what you are today, and then now you're talking about adding another 15 or 20 horsepower to it, that imagine the demand and load that's on the motor oil that's in these engines, and it's so important to use a really good premium grade oil to protect these engines because you're way beyond the OE factory specification now.
Right. And guys, I have a video about that soon. I'm not going to talk about that now, but I have a video about that coming up real soon. All right. Now we have a couple of cams here. Now, are these all these for M8s?
Yes, these are all M8 cams.
Okay.
Yeah, these are various different prototypes.
Prototypes.
Some of them are prototypes, yeah.
Not available yet.
Not available.
Some new ones are though.
Maybe we shouldn't show some of
Yeah.
these. Maybe we shouldn't show some.
They're
No,
gonna
just
zoom in and screenshot them and then copy the cam profile from the picture.
No, we don't need to show all of these.
I think the five,
The 582 is available.
they're in stock.
That has come out. It's available. We don't have a lot of literature out yet for it, but it has been.
It's going to be on the
created.
website soon.
It's coming out real soon.
582.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the 584 is probably going to trail behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Now one's going to be a torque and one's going to be horsepower.
So yeah, a lot of what I've done from 468 to 472,
Yeah.
we did the same thing in the 550 series where we have a 548 and a 552.
Yeah.
We have a 560 and a 580 lift range coming out.
Wow.
And in both of those lift ranges, you're going to have a cam that's more geared towards torque and one that's more geared towards horsepower. And that lets you take, you can buy like your stage 3 muscle kit. You can build that with a 548 if you would rather have even more early torque than the top end power. So we can even tailor those kits a little bit to try to shift your power band to how we feel you would ride.
Well, you know what, guys? Sometimes I think, having a 124 is awesome. There's bigger displacements, but everything you just said about how we could get a little bit more power out of that 124. Sometimes I'm just tempted to stay with the 124 for that reason,
Right.
because if we have more meat on the bone, as people would say, then
Right.
I'd like to see the potential of a 124. Like, how high can you go? I'm already pushing over 150 horsepower, 150 foot-pounds of torque. I would just love to see what a stage 4 would do for that. So I think that would be just cool to see how much more you can get out of a 124.
Right.
Yeah, I'm all about more displacement too, but hey. So
you have a dozer says, I bought a red shift 468 for my 117 CVO, and the first time I whacked the throttle, I pooped my pants. There was such a difference that I sharded. Had to tell that story. Hopefully the guys get a good laugh.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
That's what you like
I
to hear,
appreciate
right?
that. Yeah.
so that's a
absolutely.
compliment to him.
Right.
Yeah,
That's the whole point. Is again, it's when you hit that throttle, you want to smack. You want to feel it. You do not want to. I don't like to hurry up and wait. That's not for me. So.
And then you have, like my bike has a 552, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one of the things, it's my cam a high horsepower cam or a high torque cam?
Your cam is considered the horsepower cam.
Okay.
Now both of them make very similar numbers.
Right.
It's really only like 3 or 4 maybe horsepower in torque.
Yeah.
But it's the feel, it's the throttle response. So
Yeah.
we gave you the horsepower cam off of watching your videos and seeing how you ride and seeing where you wanted the power.
Right.
If we had gone towards the early torque cam, had we gone that way, it would be shredding the tire more. I don't know. We felt that the way you rode, because the thing is, it's not that it makes bad torque. It still makes awesome torque.
Right.
It's just we're shifting it a little bit to the top end.
Yeah, because I'm not shifting. I'm not changing gears at 3,000 RPMs. I'm
And
going further.
It also makes the motorcycle a little easier to ride too. I had to learn that. It's easy to promote that hard early torque.
Right.
But when you get to something that's making 153 foot-pounds of torque,
Yeah.
if you have that set too early, you end up shredding the tire.
Right.
So when you're trying to go, it just starts pedaling the tire.
Yeah.
So
And there's even
I mean, you can do that now,
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm
you can
gonna
do
say.
that with your throttle. But like what you don't want is when you're just trying to leave easily and it just sits there spinning. So it's not tractable. It's the term.
All right, somebody has, okay, so Two Wheel Therapy says, hey, Tall, on the 2017 M8 Road King, is it okay to just change the cam, or is it best to upgrade the cam chest and oil pump with all the tappets and all that?
I'll let Dan take this.
What year was it?
17.
Yeah, so that would be the year one.
Definitely.
And boy, oh boy, has there been some changes in the oiling system since then. Harley finally made I'd call their final revision in 2020, and it seems to work really well. The sumping problems that some of those engines were suffering from 17, 18, 19 seems to be solved. So yes, no doubt, we recommend to the shops that purchase and install 468s on a regular basis that they update the oil pump, and they might as well update the tappets, while they're there, and that way you get a good fresh cam chest that's reliable, and they get many miles of service out of it. It's trouble free.
Yeah, there's lots of positive changes to the Harley 2020 and up oil pump. So
Has more lobes, right? Lobes or whatever.
it
Freer flow and
more or
something
less.
you was telling me.
it significantly changes the amount of scavenge
That's-
and the way it works.
Yeah.
So it scavenges a lot more from the bottom end,
Yeah.
which is basically what they're trying to prevent the wet slumping issue. So they've added a seal to the back side, and I think in like 2019,
Yeah.
and then 20 they made another significant change on the interior
Yeah.
of the pump, and the 2020 just works really well. We actually were able on our dyno to take an earlier pump. I was out riding on 95, and after speaking with you when you had a wet slumping event, I went out and rode exactly the way you were riding. And I got our motorcycle to wet sump 195, and I figured out the exact parameters of when it would occur. We brought it back, put it on the dyno. We could get it to wet sump just over and over and over again. That was with an earlier pump.
Right.
We took it out, put the sealed 2020 in with the, I think it's 44% more scavenging on the crankcase. We couldn't make it wet sump.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I
we
have in
tried
my
as hard as we could, and we could not, even on a dyno, trying to induce it, we could not get it to wet sump. So it's a really fantastic pump.
All right, guys. So listen, I'm gonna get Bill Rod repeat to read 4 really good questions. 4 really good questions, not at the same time. And then we're gonna end this live video. I'm really enjoying this. I'm finally starting to loosen up. I was a little nervous at the beginning of it, but you got one good question for us right now?
Yes. So this guy, I believe, has a twin cam. John Thigman says he has a 2014 Ultra Limited with Stage 1 kit tuned with Dynojet Power Vision. Would the Thundermax work with that? Because I was thinking about going to the Harley's 110 kit.
I don't understand.
That's a
So-
Rushmore. It's a 14.
So a Rushmore 14, and I assume he wants to make more power. So a tuner could develop a calibration for his power vision, but you'd have to go to a professional tuner to do that. And the Thundermax works on it. Rushmore, that's no problem. That's done. My recommendation would be is go back to the original part of this conversation. When you stay in the combinations and the kits, we like the 107, which is a 3.937 bore. The 110 package is a 4-inch bore. I don't have a cylinder to show you, but it's only about 35 thousandths thick on the liner itself, where Adam's pointing, and
It's fragile, right?
we're not comfortable with that. So we like more material there, more structural integrity to the cylinder. And if you look at our muscle kits and our sport kits, which use the stock induction, they make a lot of power. In fact, we even did that 528 cam with a stock cylinder head for a local dealer, and he just put the 107 piston kit on, left the cylinder head alone, just put it right back on, and that engine touched about 125 foot-pounds of torque. That was
very impressive.
amazing. So it's really all what you want, and we're just recommending you kind of stay with the package, whatever you decide to do.
And they can get the 107 package from zipperperformance.com.
You bet.
And that's what, guys, off camera, Bill Rod repeat, that's what he has. No, you don't have that 107.
He is
You
a
have
muscle.
He's got a
10
muscle.
Muscle 107.
Yeah.
Yeah, just talk a little bit about, I'm gonna show you twin cam guys some love, because everybody knows about M8 packages, 128, 124s, 128s, 131s. Let's talk a little bit about what Zippers Performance has to offer for twin cams, some of their performance packages.
So I would say starting from, if you had a 468 in the Milwaukee 8, we have several great bolt-in cams for the twin cam. We have a 511, which is good for the earliest engines, direct bolt-in, even for the small spring, just makes tremendous torque.
Phenomenal power.
And horsepower too.
So
the
that's
5-speed bikes.
widely used with what I would call the cam trust upgrade guys. They got a low
Right.
mileage motorcycle, and they want to get all those OE parts out of there because they're worried about the early stuff failing. So they would update the cam chest and then drop a pair of those 511s in there and tune it, and man, you got a really good run motorcycle. Boy, I mean it's amazing how good it runs.
So 511s.
Yep, and then the 103s and the 96s and the 103s, we've got the 525, which is kind of like the pull and freight cam, where it does all of its work about 1500 to 4500.
45, yeah.
And then if you want something a little more balanced power wise, which is going to go back to the way you ride, you would always like that. The 528 is the one that we were just talking about. That's a and those are all great cams that we get a lot of praise. People call and contact us. That you had the stuff installed at a professional shop, and it's they're good pieces.
I need something for an 88. I got the 88 Road King, so
Yeah, we got to do another video so we can talk about that.
yeah.
So we
that-
designed the 511 actually for the 88-inch platform.
Oh, okay.
So it would work with the stock cylinder head,
Rakes it up.
big time. And even if, we've take an 88 and do a piston on it and go to a 95 or a 98, you can still use that same cam, and it just makes tremendous power. See, the difference is that's a 5-speed motorcycle.
Right.
So where you place the power is very important.
Right.
Because you're going to be operating in a different RPM range than if you had one of the later bikes, which is a 6-speed.
Right.
So
In 88, you make a muscle kit for that which is the biggest one,
That
is
was
Muscle
our-
107, right?
No, that one,
Actually-
see your 4-inch stroke, see, so the 107 is got the 4 3/8 stroke.
Oh, okay.
That came out, that stroke was released in model year 06 Dyna, and then it became every engine in 07. So the first kit we actually developed 22 years ago was the Muscle 95. We still sell them today.
Muscle 95.
And you can use the 98, which has a 3937 bore, and that kit still sells well. There's a lot of people still purchase those things because there's so many motorcycles built in that era of 99 to 06, really. You think that?
I was talking to a guy the other day. I know we're about to wrap this up, but I was talking to a guy the other day about the Sportster kit. He had a 95 Sportster Hammer kit on his bike. I think so. And he might have said 90. What's your Sportster kit that you have?
So way back when they were called Super Hammer kits.
Super Hammer kit.
And
Okay.
now we have a hammer kit for the 883 to convert it to a 1200.
Yeah.
And then we have a different package if you have a 1200, because that uses a different piston and a different cam and cylinder head arrangement. But it's a lot of different variations of Sportster engines, especially over all the years they built them. So we kind of, when each client contacts us, the shop contacts us about that, we kind of help organize it on an as-per basis because there's just so many variations.
So, guys, basically they have everything all the way from Sportsters up to your full-size Harley-Davidson street glides, road glides, everything in between. So check them out for all your Harley-Davidson performance needs. But that was one question. Let me get 3 more.
Okay,
Or
so
we're about to wrap it up because we're past our time.
all right, so Cosmo wants to know, he just installed a Zippers 468 full D&D and Thundermax. What to expect for fuel consumption on a 114?
Should be good. I would have said low, mid to high 40s, depending on the speed that you travel at. The thing about a motorcycle is they're fun to ride, and we need them efficient. We need them efficient. We don't want to waste any fuel or anything along that line. But as you keep riding at higher speeds, you've got to remember that the resistance level of shoving a 4x8 sheet of plywood down the road at 85, 90 miles an hour will deplete your. The trike guys really see that because they have the weight and the frontal area. But
a lot of.
Go.
I was just gonna say, a lot of times when you add power to your bike, initially you see a big fuel drop, but that's because you're into the power a lot more because it's
Yeah.
fun, right? But then once you get used to it, I think what you'll find is the more power you have, the less you're actually using riding it around. So you end up in a lot less throttle position. So you're not riding it where you're, sweeping. So
Our tech support guys tell guys when they first put it together and they think the mileage is low, to call them back after 6 tanks of fuel.
yeah,
Because
it's
they're
serious.
just in the throttle so much the
Right.
first.
Guilty.
Yeah, right. So you can
When
attest
you
to
first
it,
get
right?
your build, you're going to want to stay in it the whole time.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
that's just what it is. All right, 2 more questions, then we're going to go. What do you have? Give us 2 good ones.
Okay, so is there a reason to upgrade my 117 Stage 2 to a 124, 128, or 131? Currently, the 117 is super fun, but haven't ridden a 150 torque bike.
Oh, wait. Let me answer this before we give it to them. I'm telling you right now, coming from a 107 going to a 124, it just puts a smile on your face. The motorcycle, 117, I've ridden a 117 before. I'm telling you, when you have a performance-built motorcycle and you're making 150 foot-pounds of torque and 150 horsepower or somewhere, even in the sleeper kit, it is a night and day difference. Me and my friend were talking the other day, and he was asking me, he said, what would be the first upgrade that he should do on his motorcycle? And without a doubt, I would say, performance. Performance is the biggest thing that you get out of your motorcycle because it just puts a smile on your face. It takes, for me, having my motorcycle perform the way that it does and being able to merge into traffic and just to roll on the throttle, that, and it's just, I think that you will enjoy it. You will really enjoy all the extra power that you're going to get out of the motorcycle. 117 to a built, that would be a 128, right? A built 128, it's just so much a performance gain. you'll truly be happy with that. And if you get it done, make sure that you come back and comment below, because I'd like to know what you think after you get it done. Anybody who had performance work done on their motorcycle, I've never heard of anybody really complaining and regretting that they got performance work done on their bike. But you guys want to take anything with this, or?
The only thing I'll add is a lot of those the stage 2s and the stage 3s, if you're running the cam that came with the kit, it may be pushing your power very, very high. So you may look into just doing a cam swap. I mean, I'm not opposed to going to a 124. Obviously, you can do it, and they're great. But we saw humongous gains just by putting one of our cams into I think it was a dealer installed 117. I mean, it was something like we saw 40 foot-pounds gain at 2,500 RPMs. It was just humongous. And I think one of those would hit in the almost 140 range.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you the numbers of it, because I know they're going to want. So I know that. Well, by the way, if you're watching, hey Earl, there's a couple of motorcycles that I know for a fact that had redshift cams in it. Not even a drop-in cylinder kit. These guys are making huge numbers out of it. Do you want to kind of give them some numbers of what they can expect from just a range?
Well, so like we did I think what was our 117? We were at like 140, 140, and that's a good running. That's
Stage
head
3,
work, stage work.
Yeah.
That's you're putting it. And I wouldn't even really recommend that anymore, because I would go straight to the 124.
Right.
Just because you're doing it's basically the same money at that point. But there's no reason why you can't make 140 foot-pounds with just a good cam in one of those
Right.
one of those dealer installed kits.
I know we get a lot
So-
of tech calls from guys that are installing in Harley kits, and you know they're getting good power out of them. It's just, you know, it's more usable, rideable torque is really what it gets down to.
We always try to make that early torque, because it's that hit that just gets the motorcycle up and running, and it just makes you feel, you know, like this thing is very powerful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what my take was. I was shocked at how much we were able to gain in one of those kits by just putting a cam in.
Well, I got a friend who has a 117 CVO, and he has a 468 in it.
Yes.
And the thing is just a monster. You know what I mean? It runs really, really good.
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony, if you're watching. So, yeah, so guys, the cam change and some of the things that these guys are telling you, one thing, you can always contact Zippers Performance by phone call or email. Which way?
Well, in the tech department, use email on our website. It's zippers@zippersperformance.com, and that'll go right to our tech department.
Okay.
And there's real knowledgeable guys that would sort through that and go through your questions and help you configure something that would be successful for what you want to build. And of course, you're welcome to call. Call's a little tough, especially this time of year, but be patient. But we work actively to make sure that everybody gets responded to with a good, accurate reply related to the questions that you have. And you know, and if you need help with finding a service provider, we have some really, really good shops that are very familiar with our stuff, and you just give us an idea where you're from, and we'll be happy to connect you that way as well.
All right.
That was one of the questions I was
Well,
going to mention.
before you ask that last question, I just want to go a step further and say this, because just for people that I want to make sure they're aware of this. Zippers Performance, guys, it is in Elk Ridge, Maryland, but Zippers Performance products are available at most of your Harley-Davidson Performance dealerships. So if you're looking to upgrade your motorcycle, I want to make sure it's clear, because a lot of people think that it's just a shop. No, they have these products available at a lot of your parts counters at Harley-Davidson Performance shops. So you can contact your local performance shop or go to Zippers
Or
Performance.
contact us, and then we'll get you
Exactly.
connected. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we're predominantly manufacturing.
Mhm.
I mean, it's almost all of the products we make are installed by our dealers.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. They're a lot of people have they think that you guys are just like a little garage just doing stuff. No, it's a manufacturing facility. And if you look at some of the older videos I've walked you through, on the other side of this wall right there, there's a big cam grinder, and there's all kind of stuff that's going on where they're honing these cylinders and stuff like that. So and they're doing head work over there, and So it is a manufacturing facility that, and do you ship international? Or?
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
we've been shipping international for probably 35 plus years.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the guy behind the counter right there, where were you at when the guy knew about Zipper's performance?
I was in
Milan. What, Milan?
Madrid, Spain. Yes.
Yeah.
Madrid, Spain. A guy knew Dan.
Yeah, knew
Very
about
much
Zipper's
so.
performance. So, you know, a lot of international people that love their Harley-Davidson performance knows about Zipper's performance. Last and final question. Make this a very good one. You ready? Who's it to? Or is it just?
Well, some of the questions basically we're going in asking like, who can you guys, since a lot of people aren't necessarily near here, are you able to recommend
Absolutely.
dealers or service providers that can install Zipper's products? And you
hit
just
us-
mentioned that you
hit us on the website. That's the most efficient way to do that, and then we'll definitely get you connected.
And it's better long term anyway, because I know after a lot of times, when Tall's here, we'll get calls from people in New Mexico that says, "Can I ship my motorcycle to you?" It's best that you don't. And the reason is you really want to have a relationship with your local dealer. You really want to have someone somewhat close to you that can handle anytime, because, let's say you put a performance kit on and then, what's that noise? Well, the noise could be, a wheel bearing. It could have nothing to do with what we have done, but it could be concerning. So you want to have that relationship with your provider to be able to help you and keep everything, going. I mean,
And we know who they are and where they're located.
Right.
And, there's a couple tough spots in the U.S., like down in the southwest, because you got to go 100 miles someplace to get a cup of coffee, But just contact us by email. We'll be happy to get you connected.
All right. And so the other question that
This, I guess, is the point. Okay,
what?
we'll take one more.
So the other question, but the main question, one of the things I see that may be important, somebody might be watching this video, is somebody says that they're new to riding, and I have a 2021 Street Glide Special and want to add a tuner and air filter, but Cali hasn't approved it. How can I get around this without messing up warranty?
You
So
say California?
mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah. California is it's tough because there's very strict rules.
Yeah.
And the only thing that you can do there is to use the CARB approved products that Harley has developed.
Yeah, it's the Screaming Eagle.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I know you guys didn't want to hear that, but guys, we're gonna wrap this up here on this. But I want to say one thing before we go, guys. Zipper's Performance, they built the motorcycle as far as the 124 muscle kits. When I'm running now, I'm extremely excited about the kit. I've traveled long distance on the motorcycle. I have a fun time at the red light when I want to get on it. It's a very reliable kit. And he's laughing. I don't know what this is, but it's an extremely reliable kit. And guys, they have 51 years this year, right?
No,
41.
41. I'm sorry, 41
You trying to
years.
aid Dan.
41 years of experience, and they've been making Harleys fast for years. Dan Fitzmaurice and J.K. and Dave have been drag racing Harleys since when, Dan?
Well, technically dates back to the late 70s. I mean,
Yeah.
when we were all kids, teenagers, having fun, Yeah, dirt tracking, motorcycling, drag racing, Bonneville stuff. It's all good. We like all forms of racing and motorcycling, but a lot of us still ride dirt bikes, and we just enjoy it. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it's a passion of theirs, and it shows in their products. And guys, I'm going to end it here, but I want to tell you that I will be in Daytona. Make sure you follow me at Real Traveling Tall. There's several places that I'm going to be, and I'm going to be making an announcement about the newest sponsor of Traveling Tall's YouTube channel. So make sure that you check the next video that's going to be coming out. I want to thank Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Anytime.
Thank you, Adam.
Always live.
And thank you, Bill Rod Repeat.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for, okay, we'll do the air thing here, Bill Rod. There we go. And thank you guys for watching. So if you liked it, oh, and the dog is over there. Thank you, Kobe.
Thank you for
You
not
can't
barking.
see him. Yeah, he didn't bark the whole time. He's good. Guys, so I want to thank you for watching. I have to, I'll be in Daytona very, very soon. I know you're wondering why I'm all the way up here in Elkridge, Maryland, and I have to be in Daytona soon. So it's going to be a long couple days for me. But anyway, I'm going to be down there riding the Harley, having a good time. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more like it, please subscribe. Don't forget to check out all the YouTube videos on Traveling Tall, where you can see the whole build of the motorcycle. And check out Zipper's Performance YouTube page. Check them out and give them a follow at on Instagram. Guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Keep gliding. As always, have a blessed day.